Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome to this event called What Markets Want from the Budget. What a day to have this event. We've gone through a nightmare in the stock market today, and I think the answer to what markets want right now could be quite simple: $75 crude. That will do. The rest we can take care of, budget or no budget. But we are here, and over the next 1 hour, we'll talk a lot about where the markets have reached after a fairly rocky start to this year. We'll talk about what may happen on Monday or could happen on Monday to turn things around or sentiment around a little bit, and where the markets go from here. With me this evening, Nilesh Shah, Ramdeo Agarwal, Nirmal Jain and Ashok Wadhwa to sum up the market situation, the global situation, and what happens with crude oil prices from here. Gentlemen, good evening. Thanks very much. Ramdeo, how big in terms of trouble is the market in right now?
I think it's fairly serious, and it has come completely unannounced. So I don't think market was ready, and till yesterday or day before, things were still looking to be Brent to be, the oil price was looking as if the oil price will come down and Libyan crisis will just blow over quickly. So I think things were pretty cool, and then suddenly there is so much of eruption in the oil prices and things are looking out of control. So I think it's some kind of a global crisis, much more for India, because we have double whammy in the sense that we have 80% reliance on the oil, global oil imports, and we don't have market determined prices for the consumers. So I think it's a bit of an unsettling thing for India.
Nilesh, is this what the market hinges on centrally now? What happens with the geopolitical situation and crude, much more than what may happen on Monday with the budget?
I think we are probably reading too much into oil. I was in Hong Kong last week for Goldman's macro conference, and there were 1,300 investors. And I was going to talk on a corporate bond. And, corporate bond market is not open for FIIs, but still there were 500 plus investors present. So it's not that people have lost interest on India. Probably what we are seeing is a situation where oil has spiked up for various reasons, and we are assuming that this spike will continue forever. And on the other hand, the domestic investors base, which we had built up in mutual fund or insurance companies, is not there right now in as full form as it was in 2008 when FIIs were selling. So we are in bit of a technical situation rather than fundamental situation. I don't think so there's anyone who can predict what will happen to oil prices today. From a demand supply point of view, Saudi has a spare capacity. So Libya, which is about 3% of oil production, even if they drop out completely, it's not going to have a material impact on oil prices for a long period of time. So we are probably suffering more from a technical position where FIIs are selling because they have certain perception about oil and India's dependence upon that. On the other hand, we don't have domestic investors which can absorb their supply like in 2008. So it's a bit more technical rather than fundamental.
Nirmal, what do you think? Is it a fundamental macro problem, or is it just a technical imbalance between demand and supply?
You're talking about crude oil or stock markets?
Stock markets.
I think this has come on top of various other problems that we had. It all started with corruption and scams, and then interest rates went up, and people thought that money market will become easier in the month of January and this quarter. It didn't happen, so interest rate continued to harden. And we were in quite a strange situation about a month ago when the global markets, world over, there was overhang of liquidity. And we were passing through very tight money market conditions. And on top of that, this crude oil price have suddenly gone up. So today, actually, from the budget point of view, what markets or what large investors are worried about that how government will contain fiscal deficit and current account deficit. Now both have become a problem. I think, so we have to pass through this phase. In the last 3-4 years, we have seen that they are more recurring than before. And every time there's a crude oil or commodity prices go up, there's a sell-off in Asian markets. But as Nilesh said, that more often than not, they're very short-lived. It's not there's a long-term bear market. Within a month or two, you see that things recover. So I think investors will have to live with that. And the only thing that we tell our investors is that keep your leverage low so that you can ride through this roller coaster. Very difficult to do crystal ball gazing and say that these markets are a bear market. Will they recover or not recover? Things can change very quickly and very radically. So that's what my view is.
In the short term, do you think we are in a bear market?
In the short term, we are in a market where the bearish factors outweigh the bullish ones. Let me put it this way.
But yet you won't bring yourself to say we are in a bear market.
I would still not say, because if you take I think, ask anybody that are you in a bear market for 3 years? Very few people will say yes.
3 years.
Yeah, so people look at a quarter to quarter or day to day, but I'm saying even if I look at 1 year view, I'm not as bearish.
Sure. Ashok, I heard you say a few evenings back that the mood has turned so suddenly, and it can turn suddenly again, but has oil tilted the balance towards it turning very quickly again?
You know, Dhyan, on Friday I had said that I have never seen a 3-month period where you see a dilution in mood as rapidly as you've seen between December and February here in India. But I was equally bullish to say that, you know, all that it needs is a good budget, some clear decision making, decisiveness on some reform process so that we know that in many ways our challenges are behind us and we mean business and we are on with business here again. And I was really hopeful that given the background, the finance minister will actually be motivated to bring in some important legislative changes which he may have found politically difficult otherwise, but given that, you know, there was some lack of credibility, he would be able to push that through as an important agenda item. This one, of course, is most surprising, the crude oil piece. The good news is that we are not the only economy which is affected by it. We were feeling isolated as our markets went down and the rest of the world went up. Today, at least watching the screen, you felt equally good or equally bad as the rest of the world. The bad news is that it's something that is not easy to absorb, and I don't think it's just the Libyan issue. I think the challenge, as pointed out earlier, is Libya only supplies 3% of the oil. I think the challenge that people are worried about is that is it going to get contained to Libya? It began with Egypt, it's gone to Libya. We know it's happening in Yemen. Will it go to Saudi Arabia? And it's that uncertainty of where this will end that is really causing serious amount of strain, because, you know, God forbid, should it reach Saudi Arabia, then we really have a challenge for a longish period of time in the oil industry. And given India's dependence, you know, it is a bigger challenge than sometimes we make it out to be. Having said that, I still believe that while writing the budget, the finance minister will recognize that there are some things which are within his control and he can address them, which is the important legislative changes he needs to bring here. And there are some things which are outside of his control. What happens in an uprising in Libya or indeed in Yemen is something which is beyond his control. And I think he should focus his attention on what is within his control and try and address and create a positive mood behind that. And then just hope that this issue settles down over a period of time.
What was within his control was the oil policy of this country, though, on which he has not moved for 2 years. There can't be any excuse on that.
No, I mean, clearly, and one doesn't expect that there will be any further change given that this is an election year for 5 different states. So I think that policy change, and do remember when he did, you know, to some extent open up the oil price regime, there was a lot of bullishness in the market that maybe the reform process is here eventually.
Misplaced bullishness.
Misplaced at that point of time. But I think I don't think he has much choice in terms of leaving the regime where it is.